The treatment of refugees and slaves. When Sarah and Abraham fled to save Lot, a child who was a nephew and whose parents were lost, they were not alone for their journey to escape from a strange ruling that demanded sacrifice of children in the belief that this would end a famine. Others also made an escape to save their children. Yet when this story is often recalled, do we miss the point that here were a group fleeing from the terrors of outdated belief, fleeing not just for safety but for their lives, fleeing in particular to save their children. Today, we also see the efforts of those trying to flee from oppression, torture, rape, random killing, from genocide, destruction, slavery, and much more. Whilst Abraham's small group were to be granted a safe haven so their children could be raised in peace, today the children may find the journey rather different. Some will die trying to swim across a border that divides two nations, one saying, "You are not welcome here." Some will be caught and kept in special cages to sleep upon a concrete floor. Others may be abused by their captors. Thousands of years have passed by. The message no longer, "Thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself," but "Go back to where you came from." An interesting interpretation from a leader who proclaims himself a Christian, yet others who proclaim the same remain silent, as if they think his name is that of a new god. The Bible is littered with stories of a people who faced oppression and often held in captivity, were forced to labour against their will, their lives used to build empires for others, considered expendable when age decreed. We celebrate the escape from this slavery, a journey across a divided sea, a new beginning for a people after many generations. Their leader we now see with respect and revere, yet the same slavery repeated as the Babylonian Empire began. Fast forward 3,000 years, when black Africans were captured and sold, shipped overseas to labour on plantations, others sold to satisfy the desires of their masters. Any attempt to escape meant a beating, even death. We are told this was all in the past, but what they really mean is that the slaves of today are often unseen. Slaves can be kept overseas, working for little pay, still bound to a master, still working where a factory fire can leave incinerated bodies scattered upon a floor. But does anybody really care anymore? What if these slaves try to escape? Are they welcomed at the gate, or discreetly refused by mountains of red tape? As a leader now proclaims, fewer and fewer will be allowed to escape, and if they do, we'll find a detention centre for you, stop you in your track, send you back. I have lived my life as the struggle continues, lives lost like those of Dr. King, congresswomen now struggling to bring change, to return a country to a faith in a power that is higher than a president, young black lives still needlessly lost to those where hate has been instilled. If God is love, then we must use our faith to build upon a solid foundation, one that welcomes those in need, one that rescues children from seas, one that frees children from cages, one that does not look the other way, one that speaks out against genocide, one that faces the oppressor, one that gives a roof to the homeless on the street. This I pray for, that we shall reject a society built on greed, that we reject not helping refugees, that we reject trying to cage children, that we reject the views of those who hate. Sometimes my prayer is upon my knees. At others, prayer must be out on the street, a willingness to serve in protest, as so many prophets did in the past. The message, however, must be carried overseas to deal with all the causes that lead to refugees, to speak out against oppression, to stop the sale of arms to maim and kill, to end the use of our military support for dictators, to promote equality, not a search for greed, to help end famine and end disease. All these and more need to be in prayers and in action. Only then can we start to proclaim our treatment of refugees is as God would have wished. So why don't you stand up now and shout that your journey has begun?